Thank you, caller. See you at the finish line. All right, bye-bye. Greetings and welcome to Juice Talk. You are on the air.
Hi, fellas. This is Richard Montgomery calling in from CulturalFamily.com.
Well, good morning, Richard Montgomery. All right, thank you for your flexibility. It is the weekend before the election, and I'm sure that you are out getting articles together. Are you going to post before Tuesday? I'm sure you will.
I'm definitely going to get the post before Tuesday. There's extremely important issues, particularly in education.
Definitely. Now, you're a doctoral student. What are you getting your doctorate in?
I am getting my doctorate in educational administration and supervision. One of these days I plan to be a superintendent.
Oh, you want to be, seriously, you'd like to be a school superintendent? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So, and you work with youth in the area and college students. So, but primarily you started Culture Love Family because you wanted to have an outreach tool for communities of color, right?
Absolutely. My wife and I met each other in Baltimore, and we moved a couple times, and so we spent a lot of time, since we both got poetry, talking about issues of private TV, CNN, Fox, unfortunately, and even with MSNBC, and we sit around and talk about these things, and we thought it would be great to have a broader audience, and CulturalFamily.com has sort of been the way we've been able to interact with sort of a more broad opinion about what we think, sort of what we thought. Cultural family at home.
And both of you are involved in education. So what is your take on what is at stake here or at risk here? Or what is the trend in higher education and why is the election so important to that trend? Let's do it that way.
Well, the public control is more important today for black and brown children than ever before. When you look at higher education, you have to look at the interconnection between the K-12 system with the college and university system. And when you look at black and brown folks, there are significant barriers for entry to and success in higher education. That's the same for my own students in Ohio and across the United States, being at kindergarten. So to the earlier point when I was mentioning in about supporting the K-12 revenue request for Lincoln County.
Right. TPS, Toledo Public Schools. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We have to support that lady even if we don't agree with the school's performance. For the majority of black and brown K-12 students, doctors for higher education are becoming more and more limited. Particularly because when you think about schools, what they have is telling them is this pile of teachers is a science teacher, is a reading teacher, is a math teacher, and I don't know any one person who will be an expert in all three fields, but we funded schools so badly over time that we haven't been able to give them the resources that they need to be able to hire the kind of people who can specialize in reading, specialize in mathematics, specialize in science.
And I have a question about that as well. Is it different in each state? Like in our state, you have to have a teacher's license, if I'm correct, and then you have to get a specialist certification, which is beyond a bachelor's level, to even be able to be considered the type of teacher that can specialize. Is that correct?
Well, next is content certification. So the content certification is not very difficult. I mean, in many cases, these are associated with pay increases. So if you teach math and you teach science, you get additional pay. So the kind of effort that it takes to make a good score on a practice test is different than the kind of effort it takes to become an expert teacher. Because there's more than just understanding the information when it comes to teaching, which is the skill and the art of teaching. It's not really about what a teacher knows in their brain in terms of the content. It's about how they're able to apply it to your kids. And that's a little bit different negotiation when you talk about somebody having expertise to teach this child in a particular way and another child in a particular way that's useful for their way of learning. That kind of teaching is a little bit more complicated than just being able to have additional content area in teaching.
So how does this impact higher education? Because a lot of the emphasis has been from the presidential candidates on whether or not there should be programs, you should go get some money from your parents, just the whole 9 yards has been concentrated specifically on college and not just university, Richard, but community college as well. So where is higher education going and what is at stake here in this election?
Well, community college is about to be the new university for black and brown children. Not many of your callers have probably heard of, but not many people have been paying attention to Ohio Revised Code 33.5-061.
33, wait a minute, because we're going to come back to this on a different show. 3345- what?
061.
069, that's the ORC, that's the law of the land for Ohio. Okay, what is the ORC 3345.069 state?
It's 061, but
061? Okay. Thank you.
It's a sunset for operating subsidies for remedial courses. Now, what that means is, and it goes into effect in 2014 for universities enrolling students next fall. These universities will be following this new law, which simply says you won't be paid for any remedial courses that you offer to your students. Now, at a time when we're only reducing the amount of money that four-year universities are getting, we're also saying that we're going to reduce that based on your student population. So when you talk about an open access university, one where if you're a student who graduated from Ohio high school, no matter what your GPA was, what your ACT is, because you graduated from Ohio high school, will accept you. Well, when you look at black and brown children, the majority of the students who are coming from the public school system, whether it's in Ohio, Michigan, or Indiana, the majority of them are coming into a college atmosphere where an inadequate number or a lower level of achievement. Now, what I mean is, when you look at black and brown children's performance from K-12 all the way up to college, they perform at least 2 grade levels behind academically, and let's just say that statistic is true for reading and it's true for mathematics.
Okay.
So by the time they graduate from high school, they're coming to the university where in 9th or 10th grade reading level.
So they're ill-prepared is basically what you're saying.
Absolutely. And they're coming out to prepare, and they're forced to take these developmental education classes, and the universities are no longer going to be paid for them. So now the university is no longer having, instead of state institutions, the community college is about to be the one place where they'll be able to go, because the reduction of reimbursement for these kinds of students are going to result in policies that are going to result in the reduction of accepting those kinds of students. And black and brown children make the significant number of those students who will be impacted by that.
So this is something to think about on the state level when we think about state legislators. This is something to think about on the national level, because education in general, K through 12 or higher education, impacts us all, because after all, children are our future. And there's another population that you may be able to speak to that's emerging. It is adult learners.
Well, adult learners are, in many cases, sort of the new college students. Whenever there's a recession, there's also this converse reaction to going back to school. And as the economy seems to be improving, the idea that these students will have a place in the workforce for quickly training, those are more likely the students who are going to go to community colleges where you already have a family, you're not traditional students, so the leverage point for you is basically getting retrained for another position. And Ohio is growing in such that when you look at the top 30 occupations that are going to be growing in the state, most of the kinds of training that you'll need will be at the community college level. So many of the universities will most likely not see an increase in enrollment, and you'll probably see most of the bulk of increases in the community college over the next several years.
Okay, so this conversation is definitely not over. It is just that we have run out of time. So what I'm asking, Mr. Montgomery, is will you please come back on and talk about this a little bit more? We can talk about the impact of the election, obviously, on Tuesday night, and tell everybody what UNUI's website is again so that they can go out and look at it and see your posts.
It's www.posterslovefamilies.com.
So I'm thinking that probably we could form some kind of partnership and you can periodically check in with us. Would that be okay?
I'd be happy to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Richard Montgomery. This is so exciting and very cool that we got a chance to hear the preliminary conversation, because this is not something that will go away. Education is important. You are passionate about this. You are knowledgeable. So we need to bring forward some statistics and discussion, and people can go out to your website and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too. Have a blessed day and happy election.
Happy election.
All right. Take care. All right, everybody. You heard it. So this is a little bit of an extended version of Juice Talk, because we just had the most... I'm getting teary-eyed. I know question, but just think about the show when it started 8 years ago, just a concept that Mr. Welch had and Mr. Smith, rest in peace to Billy Joe Smith, had about what we could do and talk about as a community, and think about where we are today. The number of national impactful interviews, the number of qualified, quality, knowledgeable guests from all over that want to be on the show. We have a waiting list now. I just want you to know that. We have a waiting list, not of story ideas, but we have a waiting list of guests. We are like, we can be 2 months out if we needed to. Okay, so this is a tribute to the Juice listening community. You guys, we have a voice. We are powerful. Thank you so much to the Juice FM for allowing this to happen, and thank you so much to the Juice listening community. Now, this is our charge. The Early Vote Center in Ohio is open from 1 p.m. to 5